This year I am going to be challenging myself with a different Pokemon type theme every month for my bullet journal spread. I hope a lot of you got bullet journals for Christmas, but if not, don't fret. You can really use any journal and make it yours with just a little bit of effort. So we'll be starting off with Dragon type for January, and we'll be moving through the types that I have listed here. As you can see, next month's theme is Fairy type. So if you have a favorite fairy Pokemon, please drop a comment below and I will feature them in February's theme, which will probably either be on blackout or craft paper. I'm not sure which yet, but make sure that if you do comment, subscribe so that you can watch me draw your favorite Pokemon. And with that, let's get straight to it with this month's theme, Dragon Pokemon. I will be using my Archer and Olive B5 Neapolitan notebook. I like the Neapolitan paper just because I get kind of tired of working just on blank white paper. I like to switch it up with the craft and the blackout, but the journal starts on white, so that's what we'll be using for today. We're going to start out with a January cover page, and we will be sketching out Dragonite for this January cover page. So before I do any spread, I always do a little thumbnail drafting in an extra notebook that I have, just to make sure that I have an idea of the layout I want before I go ahead and start sketching on my actual paper. This is because I just don't want to stress the paper too much with all the erasing and redrawing and erasing and redrawing. So I have some kind of idea of what I want before I get into it. So this is a cute Dragonite wearing a New Year's hat to commemorate the start of 2020. Just be sketching him out right here. I will then outline him with a Copic marker pen. I use Copic marker pen because it doesn't react to the watercolor, and it doesn't smudge as I'm drawing. So if I draw something and I rub my hand over it right away, I'm not going to get streaks, which is really great. But the main thing for me is that it doesn't react to watercolor, because watercolor is my preferred way to color in my bullet journal. I'm not a watercolor artist by any means. I just like the watercolor because it's an easy way to get the color down. And if you want to add some depth with shading, and customize your colors a bit more, that is an option. For me, I'm pretty lazy. I just kind of throw down whatever color palettes I have in my set, and I use those. As you can see, I'm just erasing out that line art, and I have some nice dark lines, and now I'm going to go over it on the outer edge with a thicker Copic marker. Here I used the 1.0. I probably should have used the 0.5 just because it's pretty thick. But I do like to give a darker outline just because it gives a little pop to whatever line art you do, and it allows you to sort of correct some mistakes you might have made along the way. So that's just my preferred style. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw Drampa. I don't know if anyone's familiar with him. He is from the most recent generation. I don't know what generation we're on. Maybe 7, but I just think he's really cute. He looks like a little dog dragon to me, so I'm just going to put him for my future log. And then up in the corner I am sketching out Altaria, one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. Dragon and flying type, I think, is what Altaria is. I actually got an Altaria card back when I was in high school. It was a shiny one. So it had that beautiful gold coloring, but I'll probably just do the standard blue coloring for this journal. And now I'm just going to go through and do the line art for both of them again using that Copic marker, using the 0.3, and then I'm going to go over with a thicker outline with the 0.5 as soon as I finish that up. And then I did just sketch out where I want my boxes to be, just because I think it's kind of cute and cool to have a little bit of overlap with the boxes. As you can see, Drampa's head and Altaria's, I guess you would call them head feathers, are overlapping with the box just to give a little bit of interest, make it a little bit cuter. And then I'll just go through and clean up all the line art on these. And now we are going to go ahead and move on to our weekly spread. Now, when I do weekly spreads, I do them 2 weeks at a time. This is because I don't want to have to sketch out a new spread every week. I just can't seem to find the time. I barely keep up with doing a 2-week spread, but it does give me the ability to do a little bit of creativity and then be able to use that spread for 14 whole days, which is great. I do a little peekaboo at the top, so whatever cute header or designs I do can be seen regardless of which page I flip to during those 2 weeks. On the left side, I like to put the month and the date, and in this case, I am sketching out a Jangmo-o. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it's one of the newer dragon-type Pokemon. He's got a cute heart scale on his head. I just love him. He was the first shiny I ever actually did the grind for, and I was so happy when I got him. Broke my heart when I accidentally deleted my Pokemon game, but I am drawing him out here just to commemorate that. And then on this side, I am going to sketch out a Dragonair, or actually a Dragonair, not Dratini, not Dragonite, but a Dragonair. I love Dragonair. I love the little wings on its head. I've always thought it was one of the cutest Pokemon. I hope you think so too. So it was definitely going to get a spot in my bullet journal. And again, just going through with the line art, trying to clean things up, get it all ready for watercolor. Now, if you're not really somebody who likes to draw, you don't have to have drawing skills to make a cute Pokemon spread. You can always get stickers to put in your bullet journal. You can always do printables. If you have a journal with a thinner paper, not like the Art Journal, which is really thick, but a thinner paper journal, you can always print out like a black and white picture of your favorite Pokemon and put it under the page and then trace it. That way you can have your favorite Pokemon and get to color them and add a little bit of personalization to your journal without having to necessarily develop the freehand drawing skills. But, you know, don't stress too much. I think every drawing of Pokemon is a cute drawing, even if it's not accurate or the way you would like it. Just making the effort can really spice up your journal, make it fun, make it yours, and kind of entice you to use it more. I find that the better I do designing a spread, the more likely I am to actually keep up with my bullet journaling. And on months I do a spread I just don't like, I tend to write less. So I'm all for adding a little bit of personality to your bullet journal. Now this page is for my weekly review. I'm just going to draw a little Dano, I don't know if it's Dino or Dano, down in the corner with a pencil, just to make it cuter. And I really like the hairstyle on Dano. It reminds me of, there's like one year I was in high school where everybody had that like retro style hair. I don't know if it was High School Musical that made it popular, but every guy had the same hairstyle. Maybe it was Luke Skywalker, but I also remember that year it was so popular that like the Harry Potter movie, I don't know if it was the 4th or the 5th, Harry Potter had that hairstyle. He doesn't have it during any other part of the series, but for that year, that was what all the guys are wearing. So every time I see Dano, I think of that and it makes me laugh. And then up in the corner here where I'm going to be doing my meal plans and food diary, I'm just drawing a little Gibble eating a berry. And then behind him, I have a little Goomy. It's kind of like a gooey, slug-looking dragon Pokemon. It evolves into Goodra, and I think Goodra is really cute, but a little bit too big for this page, so we're just going to stick with Goomy. He's so easy to draw, almost like Ditto with the silly eyes and the gooey exterior, so he's perfect for this spread. And we'll just go through and clean up all of the line art, get it ready for the watercolor. And my hope is, if this channel sees any success, that I can actually digitize some of these and make printouts for you guys. I did dig up my old Wacom tablet, but I need a new adapter for it, so I'm waiting for that to come in the mail. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the watercolor. If you're going to do watercolor, make sure you have a binder clip or a paper clip or something just to clip your pages down. Otherwise, it is more likely that they're going to buckle under the the weight of the water. So make sure you clip it in. And I'm not really a watercolor artist, as I mentioned before. I just like the watercolor paint because it's easy, but I'm going to add very, very elementary shading just to add some depth. If you are good at shading things, then this is your time to shine. But me personally, I've never been very good at it, so I'm just going to add a little bit of darkness around the edges to give some interest in the wings too. Shade it with a little bit of a darker blue, just to give it a little bit more of a pop. For the hat, I am going to be adding some metallic watercolor. Here I'm using a Fine-Tech palette. It's a little bit pricey, so you don't need a Fine-Tech palette if you're going to be replicating this. I did have a cheaper palette from Amazon that I used for a while. It works just as good, but my mom had this lying around and she gave it to me, so I've started using it. But you don't need to buy expensive tools to make a cool bullet journal. My watercolor palette behind the Fine-Tech is just I think it was like a $15 palette from Amazon. So nothing too flashy, it just gets the job done. You really don't need the fancy watercolor paper for a bullet journal unless it's specifically a watercolor bullet journal and you're wanting to do very elaborate designs. But if you're like me and you're just trying to get some color on the page, any old watercolor set will do. You could probably even get away with using like a praying color watercolor set. But again, don't go too crazy with the water. Be gentle, test it out first. Otherwise, you're going to have very crinkly pages. You can see a little bit of crinkle where I painted Dragonite on the other side. The less water, the better, but I tend to put way too much pigment and water on the page, so I get very crinkly pages. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of shading on the clouds of Altaria. Just give it a little depth with some blue and then a little bit of cream for the bottom left corner. And now we'll go through and paint our main weekly spread. I went ahead and went for the normal coloring for Jangmo-o, not the shiny one, just because I like his original coloring as well. If you ever put down too much color like I did on Dragonair's face, don't stress out, just kind of work it until it doesn't look too bad, but don't overdo it. And there's no real mistakes. It's all just character in your journal, so don't stress if it doesn't come out exactly how you want it. An example of it not coming out exactly how I wanted, I dabbed that eye and then I accidentally spread the pink all over Dragonair's face. Still looks okay, not going to stress about it. Don't stress about little mistakes in your journal. Just enjoy the process. Just because this part of the journal I only used for 1 week, and I feel kind of sad if I didn't get to see whatever Pokemon I drew there for the whole time. So we're just going to throw in a little dragon symbol here. I didn't realize my phone had died while recording, so unfortunately I don't have the footage of painting Dano. I lost part of Gibble, but for this last part you can watch me paint in Gumi and part of Gibble. I didn't get the colors quite right on this one, but I think it still looks cute. I'm not going to stress about it. And then Gibble's eating a berry. And now for the reveal, I did add a couple more details. I outlined the word January, and I added some washi tape that I had in my collection. A ton of washi tape. I'm so happy I get to use some of them, but you don't need washi tape to make a beautiful journal. It looks just fine without it. Here's my daily calendar, my future log, my goals, month at a glance, where I just kind of write down big events that happen. can keep track of them. And a little bit of washi tape with fireworks on it to commemorate New Year's. And then here on our January spread, have it all painted. I added gold and black washi tape at the bottom with a balloon dog, just because that's like my favorite washi tape. I put it anywhere I can. Here we have the dragon symbol with some striping washi tape. And then for the page with Dragonair on it, I did add my daily challenge tracker for things like fitness, eating right, getting sun. And then I did also add this quote from Ash Ketchum. It says, well, if you just try hard enough, things will work out, won't they? I certainly hope so for all of you out there, but I do like to add quotes on my journal pages. Then we just have the weekly review where I added a little bit of washi tape to make it all come together. And we have my meal plans, groceries, and calorie trackers with our cute little first stage evolution Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please add a comment for your fairy type Pokemon and subscribe. Have a great day.